Hi, guys. Welcome back to the LeLoni Grace podcast. Today, we have a former figure skating coach, a former teacher, mom of two, and a former low ticket sales girly. And this is Alexis. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you here. I've met you a couple times in person now in group things, but we haven't had a chance to actually sit down and chat. So I'm really excited to actually have a conversation with you.
Me too. I'm so looking forward to this.
Okay, so let's start with the figure skating because you were in figure skating coaching for quite some time. Tell me about that.
I grew up figure skating. I was a competitive skater. And around the age of 17, me and my really good friend at the time, she was like, "Do you want to start coaching?" And I was like, kind of lost, didn't really know what to do. I was one that just went with the group. And I'm like, sure, that sounds great. And then started coaching. And little did we know, we actually started with a recreational figure skating club. And at the age of 17 and 18, we grew that club into a full blown competitive figure skating club from the grassroots
Wow.
up. And I did that for 14 years. So we had competitive skaters, we had national skaters, and it was really quite an endeavor at such a young age, being
No
able
kidding.
to create these skaters from literally 3-year-olds, 5-year-olds up to seeing them flourish in their teens and watch the growth while we were also growing ourselves as teenagers into young adulthood. So it was quite a journey, and I lived in that world for a very long time.
That sounds like so fun and like really rewarding work. But that's funny that you're just like, oh, yeah, this sounds good. And then stayed with it for 14 years.
Absolutely. Yeah. It seems to be a common pattern in my life.
Oh, that's so funny. What got you out of doing the figure skating coaching?
It's so interesting. I never did post-secondary until I was in my early 20s, and my brother was the one that was like, "You're the smart one. You should go to school." And I just I didn't really have much internal drive. I was really good at what I was doing, and I was like, "Ah, this just seems like it's for me." But then really taking a zoomed out look, being like, "Am I going to be doing this with a family?" It's early
Yeah.
mornings, it's late nights, it's weekends, it's all consuming. And so then I just thought, I love working with kids. I am going to slowly start chipping away at my degree while coaching 7 days a week. So it
Oh
took
my
me about
gosh.
9 years to get my teaching degree.
Wow.
I was coaching 7 days a week, got my degree alongside that, and I was in school 12 months a year and just, yeah, chipped away slowly but surely, shifted into teaching. And funnily enough, I left coaching without realizing I left because COVID hit. So
Oh,
I got my skates and I never put them back on.
wow.
Yeah.
So, wow, that sounds busy working more than full time and doing school. Did you do it like straight through or did you like get overwhelmed and take a break from schooling at all?
Straight through, but
Wow.
just 2 to 3 courses at a time. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I can't imagine even doing more than that. That's insane.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah. I can imagine like you must have been getting up at like 4 o'clock in the morning or something to get to the rink. I know like there's people doing lessons before school in the morning and stuff like that. Wow. Where did you find the motivation to get through school on top of that?
I feel like I'm just somebody who puts their head down, and when it's on my task and my list of things to do, I just do the things. It's just part of my schedule. And so I've just always been used to, because I was a competitive skater growing up with me
Mm.
doing school. So I think I've just always been used to juggling multiple things and being able to get it all done.
Wow. That's impressive. Did you ever like feel burnt out from doing all of that?
Yes, definitely burnout phases. We had 2 weeks off every year coaching. So
That's it. Wow.
usually head off and go somewhere warm or go to
Nice.
Europe. But yeah, there's a big burnout definitely in that industry.
No kidding.
Mhm.
So then you transitioned to teaching. What grades or what ages, what subjects did you teach?
I taught kindergarten and grade one. Grade one's like my
Aw.
jam, but then after having kids, it's difficult going back to kids around that age when you're with other children all day.
Yeah, no kidding. Being with that age group 24/7, especially when it's like a big group of them and then going home and still having to deal with that. That's a lot of kid time.
It is. It is definitely lots of kid time.
I also found that like I always love working with kids as well, but I found once I had my own kids, I didn't really like other people's kids as much. Oh, so yeah, that would have been hard for me to deal with that. But I also love teaching. I homeschooled my kids for 3 years, and that was so much fun and so fulfilling.
I bet it was.
So, and then you eventually transitioned into doing low ticket sales. And were you doing that alongside the teaching then?
I was, yes. And same thing, similarly, my good girlfriend, she one day was like, "Have you thought about doing this business?" And I was like, "Actually, no, not really." I signed up really quickly. Apparently, people hop on info calls and learn about things, and I did not. I just
Oh,
thought about it and signed up and really was like, why not? My husband was really encouraging of it
nice.
and started there. I was actually 5 months pregnant with our second child, so about to go off mat leave, and maternity leave pay, we know, is just not
Pathetic.
the best.
Yeah.
And so just started my low ticket journey, and it was really the moment that shifted a lot for where the trajectory of my life was going to go.
Had you ever done anything like that before, or was that your first experience?
That was my first experience online. I was
Wow.
showing pictures of my dog here and there and
Yeah.
maybe my family here and there, but I was watching everyone else showing up and speaking so beautifully and eloquently online, and I was like, that's not for me.
Y-
I'm just gonna stick to my safe little bubble." And lo and behold, everything changed.
Wow. Had you tried any of the products from that company at all, or you just like jumped right into it?
I was a user of them for like a year and a half.
Okay. So then it kind of made sense for you to, like, if you like the products anyways and you share about them.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you got into doing the low ticket sales. How quickly did it feel like, wow, this is a lot of work for how little money I'm making?
You know what? When you're in it, I feel like you're just in it and you get very caught up in, I'm competitive. So you kind of get caught up in that self competitiveness. Like, ooh, how much better can I do this month? Where can I
Mm.
push myself here? And you see, I have really good friends that have gone very high up in that business and they're very, very successful. And you're like, yeah, absolutely. I'm somebody who, if I see somebody else doing that, I know it's available for me. And I'm like, well, I can do that too. And so once you start getting into that feeling and that energy, I feel like I'm a little stubborn. You don't really think about the effort you're putting in because you have such a crystal clear vision of where you want your life to go and what you want it to look like. And I am definitely not one that is scared of hard work without seeing the like rewards right away. I am
Hmm.
one that can prolong that because I know things compound.
So what was your biggest month when you were doing that, like sales wise?
My biggest month was when we were running for an incentive trip for Tulum, and it was the last month to earn that incentive trip. And I that month closed out with $3,500 of earnings for commission, and most of it came from my personal sales within the last 4 days of the month, just really
Wow.
hustling and grinding. I think I sold $11,000 in the last 4 days of the month, and we're talking, like, packages that are $150. So
Yeah, that's insane.
it was a lot, and it went all the way to midnight of that night close. So I have definitely felt the adrenaline and the, like, that based growth and intensity in the body.
No kidding. That's wild.
Mm.
And with that company, it's kind of like every month you kind of have to start over and meet sales goals and reach certain ranks and all that. How was that? Was that stressful for you?
Yes, it was very much that hamster wheel feeling where you get like, again, I was so close. I earned the trip and I was so close to qualifying for that top 2% of the company. And then
Wow.
knowing once that happens, you have to do it again the next month.
Ugh.
And so it is that exhausting feeling, but you're really just in it and thinking again that long-term vision of what I really wanted and realizing not being in a regular 9 to 5 job and like getting a taste of what entrepreneurship is like. And I had that with coaching, but not the flexibility I wanted because you're surrendered to the ice schedule.
Yeah, you got to show up for that job.
Yeah, and so with this, I'm like, well, it kinda gives you the best of both worlds, so once I had a taste of it, I really couldn't see myself going anywhere else, and I didn't know any other vehicle to get me
Hmm.
to that desire.
Yeah. So you knew that it worked, but it wasn't getting you to where you wanted to be. Like your goal was to quit teaching, right?
Yes,
So
absolutely, I
you could
wanna
stay at home with your kids.
Yeah, and you know what? Not really stay home with them necessarily, but just have that option of like right now we have no alarm set in our house. We wake up when
Nice.
we want. They still go to daycare so I can get my work done,
Yeah.
but not having to be the first at drop off. We had to drop them off at 7:30 every morning and it just felt so terrible in my body.
No kidding. So then how did you get introduced to the high ticket sales?
So Lisa, who we all know
I
and
love
love and
her.
adore, she was posting about it, and my girlfriend actually joined about a week before. We went to in Kelowna, we have a little event called Rose Disco,
Nice.
and I was just sharing just some of our financial concerns. Roz and I were linked together in our previous low ticket business, and she was like, "Dude, I found something that you might want to look at." Because really we were at that stage of my husband running his business. We were close to losing the house,
Oh my
and
goodness.
we were just at this crossroads where I did not want to go back to work. We're like, We're remortgaging. What are we going to do? How are we going to make the mortgage payments?" I now have stepped back from teaching. I'm on call, so I can be a teacher on
Wow.
call. And this landed in my lap the last week of July. And I was like, this is it. It was just that full body knowing, like, this is what's going to create change in our life.
So it seems to be a pattern in your life. Someone presents you an opportunity, you're like, yep, let's go.
Yes, it is.
That's awesome. But it's nice that it's kind of been like a stepping stone. It's like, okay, this is good for this time in my life, but now, okay, this opportunity's been presented exactly when I need it now, and like just leveling up slowly over time.
Absolutely. And it's pretty interesting. I feel like in correlation to those things happening, I really tapped into like the universe, my identity shifts, like where I really am tuning into myself. And as that's happened, it's like the next step is revealed as I keep stepping along this path that's happening. So it's such a cool experience to be watching and witnessing unfold while I'm living it.
Yeah, I know the self-work that you have to do when you're an entrepreneur is crazy. I thought I had done like so much healing and so much growing in the last couple years since like my divorce, and then I joined this business. I'm like, wow, there's definitely still areas that I really need to work on.
I know, it is, and that's also the beautiful part of it, that it is
Mhm.
that fear that shines up to you, and, like, similar to you, when I went through a divorce, 5 years ago or so, and again, that was a pivotal moment of
Mhm.
a big shift happening, which I'm sure you experienced as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, your identity totally changes because 'cause you've been this person's wife. Like, I was married for 10 years, had 2
Yeah.
kids with the guy, and my self-worth had completely been destroyed at that point. So when I left, it was all about, like, finding myself again, getting confident again, like, just realizing, "Okay, I'm not all those things that he made me think that I was." And so I
Mhm.
had to do a lot of healing there and figuring out who I was without that. So, yeah, you just learn so much going through a big change like that for sure.
And good for you. And I think it's such an experience where, again, you aren't really relying anymore on other people's perceptions when you go through an
Mhm.
experience like that. For you to step into your courage and be able to witness yourself and like where it felt in line with you, to be able to detach from you realizing I'm not all these things that this person is
Yeah.
putting on me. That's just a projection of his but, really taking ownership in that, and I think that's amazing.
Yeah, I know I had to take ownership of so many things in my life. It's like, okay, well, like I actually put myself in that situation. I was really young when I got married. So I just was like, oh, I just blamed it on being naive and young and inexperienced. But I'm like, no, like I know I saw red flags. I just didn't do anything about it. So that is still on me. And I had to take ownership of that. And that was like the hardest thing to do for me.
Yeah,
But then we also have to, yeah, we have to take ownership of those things and then figure out how to move forward from them and not let them happen to us again.
absolutely. I'm in full belief, like, your reality is your perception, and
Absolutely.
you have 2 choices, and there are so many people that choose to see the, like, negative or the limitations
Mhm.
and turn to the other side of the coin, and you have all of these opportunities and experiences and glimmers throughout your day. And really, it's where you're going to put all the energy in your reality because you are fully in charge of creating that. And I
Mhm.
think that's so empowering to realize, like, wow, I am actually in full control of how my life unfolds, how I experience my life, and where I'm putting the energy into where I want to feel.
Yeah, absolutely. I know I really had to overcome I've been basically bedridden off and on for 4 years because of back issues. And I was stuck in the cycle of, "Oh, I can't like physically go get a job. I can't do like anything. I'm like having the hardest time finding work or being able to do anything." And I was just like, "Oh, poor me. Like I can't actually work. I can't get on disability. I can't do this." And I just like got stuck in this cycle. And then when I started watching Lisa be like, "All you need is your phone for this." I'm like, okay, maybe there is something out there that I can do. And yeah, that was definitely a big mind shift for me as well. And it's been amazing kind of overcoming that and realizing there's so much more that I can do that I didn't even realize.
And then look where it's catapulted you into a podcast,
I
which is
know, it's amazing. This is honestly my favorite part about, well, maybe not. There's so many good parts about this business, like the connections that I've made with people, the podcast, the like just the leveling up that I've done since joining. Like it's just insane how many areas of my life have changed since joining this business.
and that's a beautiful thing. Again, people don't realize with having your own business, and
Mhm.
also a huge part of that is visibility. And I think
Yep.
so many people have blocks around being visible that they don't even realize or they aren't self-aware of, that when you actually do start to heal that in yourself, so many other parts of your life start to heal as well, like relationships, the way you see yourself, places that you didn't even realize needed healing. So much stems from visibility.
Yeah, totally. I know. Before I left my ex-husband, I had been a beauty YouTuber, so I was used to showing up online, but I was used to showing a very like fake side of myself because I
Mhm.
didn't want people to know that I was in a bad relationship. I didn't want people to know that I was insecure. I didn't want people to know any of that stuff. And so part of coming into this is actually sharing more of my story with my back journey because I don't want to share people that, oh, like I can't move my body. I'm in so much pain. Like I don't want to share those things because it feels like A, I'm complaining, and B, like who wants to hear about my sucky life? But then I did start showing up and sharing about it. And I had so many people be like, thank you for sharing. I deal with that kind of stuff too. I don't feel so alone anymore. And it makes you realize you need to share your story because there's always going to be someone who relates to that on some level.
Yeah, there's always so much power in sharing your story and your voice, and like really you being able to share your journey and and be such a positive person and try to help other people at the same time. It gives them that permission slip to come out of that cycle themselves, of maybe that self-perpetuating cycle of, oh my gosh, I can't move my body, I can't maybe grab that job, and watch your story and
Mhm.
be inspired by that and get to the gym today, or maybe go out for a walk today,
Yeah.
or even look for the positives throughout your day. So, so inspiring being able to take your story and share that journey, because it helps other people give that permission slip of, right, this is part of what's happening in my life. It's not my entire life.
Yeah, exactly. So what's one of the biggest things that you've learned since starting online businesses?
Ooh, there's been a lot.
Right?
Definitely self-trust has been a
Mm.
huge, huge piece, and the visibility piece, really owning that and realizing people, they're instead of being scared of showing up online and being visible, really flipping that and being like, who am I gonna inspire today? Who needs to hear my voice today? There are those people, and I love the idea that all versions of you exist at the same time, because
Mhm.
energy, you can't create energy and you can't destroy energy. So we all exist here. So it's just tapping into that next version of ourselves that exist here. And so I think that's been a really cool part of this journey, shifting that identity, embodying that identity shift, and realizing that it's just this continuous evolution that's happening,
Yeah.
and loving that there's no end point. So that's been a huge part of this, thinking as you continue to develop and grow in your business and entrepreneurial path, there's going to be next levels. And it doesn't mean you're not scared or fearful. It's just
Yeah.
learning to walk with that fear, because you continue to learn how to each time. So I think that's been
Mhm.
a huge, huge piece of me on this journey. And that's a huge part.
Mhm. Yeah, I was actually talking with a friend, I think just yesterday. Um, it's fun how you're saying like different versions of you can exist at the same time. And it's so funny because every person who meets you, that's a different version of you. Like you're the villain in someone's story, you're the hero in someone's story, you're inspiration in someone's story. Like there are so many different versions of you, but the only one that really matters is the one that you see.
Absolutely. And I also each part of those people's stories, if you're the villain, if you're the hero, if you're whatever that part is just as important for their story.
Yeah.
And allowing that to happen and be okay with it and you again just focusing on you.
Yeah.
But that's all you can do moving forward and moving through life is everyone will have different experiences no matter what. If you're in the same room all together, everyone perceives things differently.
Mhm. And you have to be okay with letting go of what you are to other people. Like, say you are the villain in someone's story. I mean, maybe you did do something that justifies that, but also reminding yourself that you can change from that too. So just because you were a villain in someone's story at one point in time doesn't mean you can't change and grow and evolve and learn from that. And same thing if you're the hero in someone's story, you take that, learn from that, duplicate that. Like there's so many ways that you can level up and change and just keep being a better person.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, what's the biggest difference you found between doing the low ticket sales and doing this high ticket sales?
A lot of it has to do with nervous system. So the difference instead of having to feel like this hamster wheel of making sales every day, hitting certain targets, the difference with the high ticket sales, first of all, I feel like it's a life skill that is going to help you with relationships, with friendships, with your self identity, because it is such an important communication skill to be able to nurture those relationships, really hear other people. The conversations are deeper and they're
Mhm.
more meaningful. So we're having really meaningful conversations around wealth and women, and it feels like a movement of a
Mhm.
collection of women coming together because we are entering like the age of Aquarius. And so there's this entire shift astrologically that's happening where actually it is being asked of us to work as a collective. And old paradigms where maybe there's one person on top and more people below and
Mhm.
more of that low ticket space, it is like a deck of cards and it's starting to crumble. And
Yeah.
people are just like grasping at these cards, trying to continue to build it where really the shift feels less like these cards and the high ticket space feels way more like a cement foundation where we're like all working together, all growing together, and you don't reset every month. So this
That's
is
my favorite part.
a business that will be here no matter what. So
Mhm.
this business will be here for years as you go through your identity shifts, as you continue to hone in on those skills. It's not this race each month to try to
Mhm.
catch up on your skills to hit targets. But this business actually allows you to step into that next level of yourself, become that next level as you start to build. So I love that it actually compounds over time. It's not this whiplash effect of restarting 3 months. So that's the power where I feel the other model was made to have people continuously working, whereas
Mhm.
this model allows space for your nervous system to relax, allows space for you to do the identity work, and allows space for you to become the person who can hold the business that you really want. And that's just going to continue to compound rather than reset. So
Mhm.
that's a huge shift energetically from the low ticket space I was in to the high ticket space.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of the low ticket systems are designed to produce burnout. Like they're just not sustainable long term. You get into one of those and it's like, okay, I can do this for a year or two, make a little bit of cash and then peace out cuz like it's just not a long-term solution. Whereas the high ticket sales, like from the get-go, you realize, okay, this is long term. I can stick to this for years, build momentum. Like if it takes me 5, 10 years to get to the legacy bonus where you're making whatever 10,000, 20,000, 40,000 a month, so be it. Like I can get there long term. So that was the cool thing for me, like hearing about the business and just seeing that long term possibility and knowing that it wasn't going to be one of those burnout cycles. Like that was huge.
Absolutely. It's taken me so long to realize, like, no, I can actually start my morning, work on me first, have time to do that, and then shift into like supporting the team, doing all my back end things. So
Mhm.
it's been a shift, a beautiful shift, but it's taken some time to decondition myself from the previous one where I was on my phone 24/7.
Yeah, it's just like hustle, grind. And now it's like, okay, let's get in my soft girl era. Let's relax a little bit. Don't have to go 24/7. I mean, you could if you wanted to, but you don't have to in this business model.
Exactly, and that's the thing as well, realizing that we can be putting in the same energy and effort with that intention and creating much bigger results in this business
Yes.
model and system rather than having to, like, constantly be on.
Mhm. It's very refreshing. Yeah, I've been in several low ticket companies before, and it was just not my jam. The whole trying to reach sales every single month and resetting and deranking, and it's just like, I was not built for this. So this has been definitely a refreshing change of pace for sure. And so you are actually, I'm somewhere in your downline. So you and I are actually directly linked, which I think is like the first person I've had on the podcast that's like in my upline. So
I lo
that's really cool.
I lo
Yes, I love that you like have your little legs set up in your little chats and you're always like texting us and being like, how can I help you? And can you it's like this is some inspo and this is this and you're like always there to support us, which is really cool.
Yeah, we love that. We wanted people to feel connected that are closer because sometimes you're like, "Where are we in the tree?"
Yeah, our Telegram chat is insane. I actually just took like a 3-day break from the Telegram and I got on today and I was like, "Oh my gosh, there are so many messages on here." So yeah, it can get a little bit overwhelming, but when you break it down into the smaller groups and stuff, and even just like finding your people outside of your upline, that's the great thing too, is that there's so many people in this business that you can kind of find like who you connect with the best and doesn't matter if you're part of their team or not, you can still support each other. And like Casey and I went out yesterday and did a photo shoot just to get a whole bunch of content. We had the most fun.
Mm.
I love it.
That's the thing, I feel like businesses like this really heal a lot of sisterhood wounds in people that you
Yes.
don't even realize you have, and when you actually see women, like, cheering for each other and clapping for each other and lifting each other up, it's I feel like a lot of people say it, but don't
Yes.
actually walk the walk, or they say it and then they do the opposite, where I feel it feels so inspiring connecting to women who are, like, go girl energy
Like
and
genuine.
there to win. So I think
Yeah.
there's a huge piece of this business that people don't realize as well, or being in that online space, that there's a huge sisterhood piece, and it's amazing.
I think that that's what a lot of people think that they're getting into when they get into like the low ticket stuff because I found that too. Like I've done like 4 or 5 and I was like, "Oh yeah, there's this great group of women whatever." And again, it was all like very fake and very ended up being more competitive and you didn't really build those bonds. And yet I've been in this since November and I feel like I'm making best friends, like actual legit best friends. Like I'm voice messaging people every day and like having the best conversations and getting deep and like hearing about people's inner work that they're working on. Like it's like a whole nother level. Like I didn't even know that this was possible, especially with so many women on the team too. Like often you get that many women together and it's like cattiness and drama and stuff. I'm like, I don't feel that in our group at all.
I love it. I love all the collaboration, and
Mhm.
community is huge.
Yeah, like we had Lisa's Christmas party and there was what, over 30 of us in that room. And it just the energy in there was unbelievable.
So much fun.
Every time you met someone, it's just like big hug and chatting and just happy, happy, happy. It's just like, oh, this is so fun.
Yes.
Yeah, the women on our team are pretty incredible. But I think that's kind of designed that way too because we only really sign up other people that have that energy too. Like we don't just sign up anybody that's like Yeah, I feel like we connect with the right people that have the same energy as us, and those are the people that come onto our team.
Absolutely. And I think energy is the biggest part and hugest part. Like what you're
Mhm.
putting out there, like those are the people you're going to pull into your life, and those are the people you're going to start working with.
Absolutely. So, yeah, that's another big part of the self work that you have to do because you have to be the person that you want to be on your team in order to get that person on your team. That was a complicated way to say it, but you know what I mean.
All starts with identity, right? Once
Yeah.
you really get to like the lowest, deepest layer of that identity and shift there, that's who you are going to start to become.
Yeah. And that's going to be who you attract also. So
Mhm.
we've got some pretty incredible women on our team for sure. Wow, this has been so much fun. I'm so glad we finally got to sit down and chat. Thank you so much again for coming on. Where can people find you online? What's your Instagram handle?
My Instagram handle is alexis.fumiko.
I will have that in the show notes. You don't have to know how to spell that. So if anyone is interested in what we're doing in the high ticket sales space, hit up either Alexis or I, and we can let you know a little bit more about it. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.